Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. Disclaimer quickly, trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here with my regular Tuesday morning video. I'm filming this at about 8:40 on Tuesday morning. The futures look to be starting the day well off. The Dow was, last time I looked, off about 180 points. So we'll see how the day ends. But with that, let's get into today's video. I always start off with a look at the Russell Index, and for that I use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000. And I like to step back and take a look at it on the 5-year monthly time frame. So if you're a regular viewer, then you know through all of 2017 we were keeping an eye on this pattern here, this little wedge that contained price on the Russell, and then in the latter part of the year we had this breakout up and over my diagonal trend line. The candle for the month of December was undecided and red, a doji, so it caught my attention, to be a little cautious in the following month. But look, January so far is shaping up to be a pretty bullish candle. We still have 2 trading days left in the month, so we'll see how it ends after the month is through, but so far looking pretty bullish. Going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly so we can better see how price is behaving. We drew this trend line in last week and said if the uptrend is going to continue, it's going to need to hold this area of very short-term support, but I like to have those lines drawn in just as my personal reference. Anyway, here's the black diagonal line that we saw on the larger big picture monthly view. So you can see the way price hit our baseline here, the orange line lifted and then moved out of our wedge and higher. So this is where we are here, up and over the blue 8-day EMA. This is the weekly chart, and here we're going to zoom into this area right here and take a look at how things are looking on the daily. So there's my trend line, here's the daily chart. We close slightly below the blue 8-day EMA. So with that, I am not putting a new chart forward, but we are still holding that short-term area of support. For me, I would draw a trend line in here and say if the uptrend is going to continue, then it's going to need to get through this little mini wedge happening up here and move forward this way. It's either going to go break out and go up or break down and go down. So keeping an eye, I'll zoom into this area so you can really see what it's doing. So with the futures off pretty substantially, you want to be super careful in this area. But should we get that recovery and a reversal and a move out of this wedge, here are 2 past Chart of the Day Cafe picks that I thought looked interesting in this area. I'm going to go to the 1 year. Actually, I'm going to pause it here, and we'll do that in another segment. And so here are the 2 that I wanted to flag for you in the event that the markets do recover and start to turn around, and the Russell has a breakout of that little mini wedge we identified to the upside. I'm going to be super cautious because the markets had a nice run and it might be due for a more significant correction. I don't know. But just going to keep an eye on that little mini wedge and use it as my reference. So should we get some strength coming back into these markets, here are 2 past Chart of the Day Cafe picks that I think might be worth keeping an eye on here. The first one is Royal Dutch Shell, ticker symbol RDS.B. It was our Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart back here July 18th as it bounced off this trend line. We're looking at the weekly chart, so these are weekly candles. It had a beautiful run from there. I reiterated it in a video here, Green Circle Day, as it broke out of this area. Beautiful run from there. And now it's at this short-term area of support resistance that I'll be keeping an eye on. So I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 3-month daily so you can better see. Here's my little short-term line of support resistance. It's currently below the 8-day EMA, but if it starts to lift here and regain some strength and move higher, it will be of interest to me. So I checked the scores on it again this morning. It still has the nice high value score that I look for, a current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 21%, a PE of 16.30, and it still has a dividend yield of 5.16%, even though it has had that strong move. So that's a really nice dividend. The second one that I wanted to flag for you, I'm going to move it back to the weekly chart, is ABBV. This was one of our best performers of 2017, so it was our Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart back here on April 20th of 2017, Green Circle Day. Again, we're looking at the one-year weekly chart. So these are weekly candles, but it had a beautiful run from there, consolidated, ran higher, consolidated, ran higher, and they announced earnings. Earnings were received very well. The volume came in. This is the weekly chart, so this is last week. Nice candle, and it's now sitting in this area here that may be interesting. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 3-month daily, and I would want it to see this one stay above that area there. So we'll see if it can do that. Checked the scores on it this morning. It still has the value score I look for, a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 15%, a current PE of 18.90, and a dividend yield of 2.32%. So with price on the Russell having closed below the 8-day EMA ever so slightly, and the futures week this morning, we are not putting a new name forward for our watch list, so I'm not doing the full-blown analysis of my chart. But today's video showed you 2 past Chart of the Day Cafe featured charts that may be interesting should the markets recover from here. We will see. If you like receiving these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the red subscribe button on my YouTube homepage. It's currently white for me because I'm already a subscriber. And as a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. With that, I will leave you till Thursday. Have a great next couple of days. Take care.